Hello traders, and welcome to a new strategy video of mine. In today's video, we're going to be going over vdepth.io. This is a site that shows you just how many buyers there are on every single cryptocurrency and just how many sellers there are on every single cryptocurrency. Now, I'm not talking about volume. We can get that kind of information anywhere. What I'm talking about is order book volume. This is something that I have been searching for actually ever since I started trading crypto. I've always looked for a website that shows this kind of data, and I finally found it. So let's do a deep dive into probably the most helpful site I've ever found on crypto, vdepth.io. All right, traders, let's get into vdepth.io and how to understand what it's saying and how to use the information that it has. So what we're going to go through is what do these tabs mean, and then what we're going to be looking at are a few different coins and actually actively using this information to trade off of historical market depth ratios. So this is all pretty intuitive. This site has 997 different cryptocurrencies across many exchanges. And what I like about this site so much, and then we're going to get into the actual data, is it pulls together all exchanges that a certain coin is traded. So if we look at XMR, if I clicked on XMR, what it actually does is it gets market depth information from all of these exchanges and adds them together and creates ratios like this. It's an insane amount of helpful information, to be honest, and kind of surprised it's free, but let's keep it free. But yeah, so that is really what we are looking at. Are pulling together many exchanges and also XMR BTC looking at XMR F, looking at XMR different pairs and converting that into USD. So that's why when you look at buy pressure and sell pressure, they're always in US dollars. So 5.4 million US dollars worth of buy pressure. Now what this means with buy pressure and sell pressure is when we look here, this is how many dollars worth of Bitcoin, Ethereum, of whatever are being bidded, are being put into limit buy orders. That's buy pressure. Sell pressure is how many of that coin are being sold in limit sell orders. Now, it's important to note, none of these transactions have happened yet. And that's the exciting thing here. These are all limit orders. This is not volume. And when we're looking at limit orders, these are people who have not traded yet. So what we want to do as just a basic strategy is look for a very high MDR, and we're going to get into that. Look for when there are a lot more bids than offers, and then try to buy, because we know that so many people are trying to buy that they will be buying after us. So what we're going to now talk about is MDR, 24-hour MDR change, how to use these, and then we're going to be looking at a few examples overlaid onto price chart here. MDR is the market depth ratio, and think of this as this is basically just saying, are the bids or the offers higher? When the bids are a lot higher, you're going to see a positive percentage MDR. When the offers are a lot higher, you're going to see a negative percentage MDR. And the amount of that difference is quantified by a percent. Now, for the math nerds here, to actually get that percent, all it is, when it's positive, is total bids minus total offers across all exchanges divided by total bids plus total offers, and then we have that multiplied by 100. And that is how you would get 17.2. So just this number minus this divided by this number plus this. And that would be 17.2%. And the MDR, what we're looking at here with actually how to use it, it's good to have a very bullish, a very, very high MDR. And you can sort to find coins that have very high MDRs, even though these coins are never traded really. That's why the MDR is so high. We want to look for actual coins that have a large amount of buying and selling pressure, because coins that only have about 1.6K in their order books are not really, not really going to be that helpful. But what we want to do is not just look at a positive MDR, but what's more important is the 24-hour MDR change. Because when we see a massive change in the market depth ratio, we know that there are many buyers trying to buy, or there are many new sellers trying to sell. So with these three tabs, this is going to probably stay the same. This is the top plus MDR. So what coins have the largest spread of MDR? So MDA, ETH, and XMR have a lot more buyers right now, people trying to buy, than people trying to sell. But the more interesting thing that I'm interested in here is top 24-hour MDR. So what this tells me, when I click on it, is in the last 24 hours, how has that MDR changed? So if we go to the day here, and we can go here, this is the historical MDR. We can see that in the last 24 hours from here, from like 444 up to about here, I can even show it on the 1 week to show the change. This MDR has really changed. And if we look at MDA and just take a look at what it's doing, let me go to the present time. It's indicating that there are a lot of new buyers coming into this market right here. So, this may be a time to, price may go higher. We'll see. But what I want to talk about today is a coin that many people know about, Ripple. Because I think when we're looking at MDR and when we're looking at these historical order book ratios, we want to use coins that have a large amount of volume. Now, one note, but before we go into the strategy, and I know I keep delaying this part, Bitcoin, Ethereum, especially Bitcoin, order books can be kind of tricky with Bitcoin. So this kind of data, it's great, it's helpful, but it can be a little bit spoofed on Bitcoin. But when you have if you're trading an altcoin that's number 52 on the market cap list, I'm not going to expect that a large scale amount of spoofing is occurring. So that's why I trust this more with medium market cap and higher market cap coins that aren't Bitcoin or Ethereum. All right, so let's look into Ripple and how we would use it. So we're getting this information from all of these exchanges pulled together. And what we see here is the historical market depth and the historical MDR. And remember, market depth ratio is just showing us the percentage of difference between the bids and the offers. So the blue line is just the combine. It's just when you combine the bids and the offers in USD value. Green is bids. Red is offers, also known as asks. So what we want to do really is look to buy when the bids are much higher than the offers, look to sell when the offers are much higher than the bids. But what time do we actually do that? Well, we want to do that when there's a spike, when there's suddenly a lot more bids than offers, or when there's suddenly a lot more offers than bids. That's the point in time that we want to trade. So if we take a look at an example here, this may be one of the better ones here for Ripple. November 25th, you can see that at November 25th at about 12:30, we're really seeing a lot more bids than offers at 12:30. So let's go to November 25th at 12:30. And before we do that, let's take a look at MDR. Now at 12:30, we could actually see that the MDR was moving up to an incredibly high value of 15%, meaning that there were about 15% more bids than offers. That's a lot. And again, the number itself isn't really that helpful, but what we can see here is the rate of change is very rapid. We went from 6.19 to 8.47 all the way up to 10, all the way up to 15. So from around 12 p.m. to 12:30, this is looking like a large rate of change. Now, where is 12 p.m., 12:30 on the 25th? 12 p.m., 12:30 was the very bottom before price went up 15%. Yep, right when a lot of bids were getting in there was right here, and price went up. And then what happened here? You see all those offers coming in right there? At 5:30, which is 17:30 on TradingView time. So at 5:30, so 17:30 on the 25th. What happened at 17:30? Well, if you look at this, 17:30 was the very top right here. Right when all those offers began to come in, price went down. Simple as that, really. And if we look at the MDR at 17:30, which is again 5:30, we can see that MDR was negative 14%. So what that's telling me, after we see a rate of change from 387 minus 504 to 13.97, this change is not healthy. This is telling me that a lot of new sellers are coming in and trying to sell. So when we see this MDR getting very low very rapidly with a quick rate of change, then we're a little bit worried, and now we want to sell at 17:30. Oh, this can even be used in the short term because watch this. Yeah, 1730 was a peak, but then the MDR changed from negative 14% to negative 3.85 at 6:30 at 6:30. So this is actually indicating for us to buy at around 6 p.m. to 6:30, 18 to 18:30. Yeah, so it's indicating to buy at around 18 o'clock, which is here. 18:30 is here. So it is indicating us to buy here because the MDR changed so much. And then it says, okay, yep, that's good. And then that does not look good. The MDR just changed at 7:30 p.m. November 25th. The MDR went back to negative 12%. That is a terrible sign for the buyers. Where was 7:30? That's 19:30. 19:30, right at the top. All we're doing here is just look at those quick rises and quick falls in the MDR and just using that to buy and sell. That's really all there is to it. Let's look at another. All right, we go to November 26th, 10:30, 11 a.m., 11:30. So 11 a.m. to 11:30, we're getting a quick change from a negative MDR to a positive MDR, and we have a rate of change here of about 6%, rate of change here of about 4. So 11 a.m. to 11:30, November 26th, we probably want to buy. So 11 to 11:30, 11 to 11:30. Let me just show this to you guys. That's 11 right there. That's 11:30. So we're right at the very bottom, and then what happened to price? Price went right up. So if you had done what this tells you to do and you see this MDR changing, I mean, you just buy when the MDR rapidly changes, and then you get that. Now, what was happening to the bids and the offers at that time? Well, at 11 to 11:30, 11:26. 11 to 11:30, we go from 22 million bids in USD, 123, to 22,705. And before that, we had 20.8 million bids. We went from 20.8 million USD worth of bids to 22. So really the biggest change, to be honest, happened from 10:30 to 11. And then at 11:02, this is looking like a really good buy, honestly. And 11:02 was right here, right at the bottom. Now, again, what happened at around here? Would we have been indicated to sell here? Well, let's take a look at the data. At 14:30, 2:30, we have a negative MDR, and we have a decent rate of change, about minus 4%, from 2.21 down to there. At 14:32, that would be right there, right at the top. So this is indicating we should probably sell. And then we are indicated of a positive MDR at 16 o'clock. So that was 1.91, and we went from negative to positive there. Yep. So at about 16 o'clock to 16:30, what happened there? 16 o'clock is here. 16:30 is here. We are indicated to buy, and we would have made money. We can just keep looking at examples here, like when the when the offers were much higher here. When the offers were much higher, it's like being really annoying right now. 1 a.m. to about 8 p.m. on the 28th. So what was happening on November 28th? And let me see here, November 28th. We have a lot more offers at about 1:30 p.m. Yeah, about 1:30 p.m., 2:30 p.m. That would be 13:30 and 14:30. What was happening there? Well, that was right before the top. 13:30 to 14:30, right there. That's indicating us to sell. And price went down. Well, let's look at another. Let's look at a more recent example for Ripple. At negative 2.15, November 30th, 5:30. So a change from negative 2.15 to 4.73 in just half an hour. This data is taken every half hour. That's a 6% difference at 5:30 a.m., November 30th. What was happening 5:30 a.m., November 30th? Well, that was here. Price did go down a little bit farther at 5:30, but this would have been a time to buy because we would have had that. So you buy here and you hold and you make that. So that quick rate of change and then MDR staying positive for a little bit, this showed us that we would have held this trade and we would have made money like that. And we can look at any coin. Like I had done MDA before. So if we go back to MDA, it's going to be a little bit more choppy because it's not as actively traded as XRP and it's only on 2 exchanges. So it's going to be a little, all over the place. But we can still see some good times to buy. So if we look here, right there, yep. The one that really pops out to me is 1129. We get some pretty massive changes. And we finally get a quick rate of change from negative 7.4, right? At 8 p.m., that's 20 o'clock military time. We go up to 22% at 9 p.m., 11:29. What was happening 11:29 at 9 p.m., which is 21 o'clock? That's right here, and we're actually indicated to buy around here. And we would have made like a little 8%er. Because we're indicated to buy at around 9 p.m. and then we're indicated to sell because we get a rate of change. We go from a beautiful 27.26 MDR. So, hey, everyone's trying to buy MDA. Great. We go from 27.26 down to negative 21.1. So a lot of people are now trying to sell. 11:30 at midnight. Where's 11:30 at midnight? Right here at the very top. And price went down like that. Why? Well, because of that quick rate of change right there in the depth of market. And if we actually look at what actually had happened in the bids and the offers, we can see, let's go to, let me change this to 1 week. Let me change this, that's what we're looking at, midnight on the 30th. Midnight on the 30th was here. And you may be able to see the bids really fell. The bids rose, and this was great. The bids were really rising. This would have been a great time to buy during this run-up. But then the bids just fell apart. Just the available buyers just vanished. So when a lot of bids come out, the market has an easier time to fall, which it did. It fell right there, as you can see. Now we can even use this on the very short term, on the 1 day, and look at that. I mean, you can look for these quick changes like at, it's indicating to me 11:39 a.m. Eastern to 12:44. Yeah. So this could have been a spot, but it is a little bit more choppy on the day. I love looking at the 1 week and the 1 month. This is great data. The 1 day, I would only change major changes in MDR and changes in the bid in the offer. One just quick example was here where you can see that the bid clearly went higher than the offer. This happened 11:29 at 8:30 p.m. 11:29 at 8:30 p.m. I think I've already covered this. 11:29 at 8:33 p.m. No, I don't think I have. That was 20:33. Yeah, that was right here. So we're indicated to buy again, like right there. Because the bid went higher, and then we're just indicated to sell when we get that crossover, when we get a very quick crossover, which was midnight, November 30th again, which was right at the very top when the bids fell off. And here we can see another example at 11 a.m., November 30th. We get some strong offers coming in at 11:39. You can see that right there. And that was 11, yeah, that was around like here. So this is now indicating that we should probably start selling because, the offer movement and yeah. I think that's got to do it for this site. There are so many ways you can use just this pretty straightforward and simple data. I love looking at the top 24 change in MDR to look at, what coins have really popped up. You can look at Bitcoin. I'm just saying that if you look at Bitcoin with market depth data, some of it can be a bit spoofed. That doesn't mean you can't use it to profit, but do be careful when you're looking at Bitcoin because it's not going to be as honest as other altcoins might be. I mean, we have a wealth of data for Bitcoin market depth ratio and overall market depth here. We could even look at the daily and just see the pattern. I don't know for sure if this one is as beautiful. Yeah, it's not really. You can see the bids are higher, but price was falling because potential spoofing or not. But maybe if you zoom out, it may be a little bit more clear. But yeah, I would recommend this tool more for altcoins and more for coins that aren't Bitcoin, basically. And you can search whatever coin you want, or view all at the same time. What I like to do is I click the 24-hour MDR change, and I look at what coins have recently gotten a lot of bids coming in. And look at a few of these here, like QKC, which is what I made a trade on with this data before. If we look at QKC, yeah, right there. And if we go to the 1 day and show what I saw some this one was really cool. Look what happens from 2 a.m. Yeah, from about here. It says 7 a.m. here. You can see we have a quick drop in negative MDR, and it looks like price rose. This is a lot more clear than the MDR, the bids and the offers. Offers are higher. We don't want to buy, and then we get this spike in bids. Let me show you guys. At 5:30 a.m. November 30th. Yep, November 30th is what I'm trying to show. November 30th, 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. That is when we got a spike in bids. 5:30 to 6 a.m. That's 5:30 is here. Oops. 5:30 is here. 6 a.m. is here. What happened? Well, my friend, price is now up 7%. But the offers are higher, so wouldn't be shocked to see, price retracing or actually moving down unless we can see more bids coming up. But this was one I had made a trade on. All right, now I think that's going to do it for this video. Plenty of ways to use this data. You can use it short term. You could use it medium term, long term. But I've found this to be top 3 or maybe the most helpful site I've ever come across. So yeah, play around with it and happy trading.